Hello friends and welcome back to the 2025 Blu-ray collection update video. This is the fourth one of these that I've done. If you want to go back and watch the original from 2021, I highly suggest you do that. That will explain all the ones behind me here, and then watching the subsequent ones will kind of fill in the gaps there. But not too much to go over today. I was frugal and still a student, so I didn't really have a whole lot of money. So yeah, let's start off with the first one, which is American Graffiti. I picked this one up the other day. I first watched this one in a film class, and I really enjoyed it. It shows that George Lucas is an actual director and not just the Star Wars director. But yeah, pretty decent movie. I got this on sale at Barnes & Noble. Pretty good. All right, the next one is Criterion's Anora, or Criterion's release of Anora. This one, Best Picture at the Academy Awards this year, and admittedly, I haven't watched it yet. I apologize for that, but I've heard good things. I still think that Demi Moore should have won the award for Best Actress in a feature film this year. I think she got severely snubbed, and yeah. But anyway, I'm excited to watch this movie. I've heard good things about it, and it also won Best Picture, so I'm pretty stoked about that. All right. Next one up, this is a movie that I already own, but I upgraded to 4K, Blazing Saddles. Fun story. I think Mel Brooks turned 99 this year, or 98. Congratulations to him. But this movie is one of my favorites of his. I would say like Spaceballs is like about in the same level for me, and then Blazing Saddles is somewhere in, first or second. But yeah, phenomenal movie. Gene Wilder's great. Mel Brooks playing himself as some, douchebag governor. This is the 4K Steelbook. They did a great job on the remaster for this. I was super happy with how that turned out. But yeah, Blazing Saddles, phenomenal movie. All right, this one I picked up as kind of a blind buy / I was curious about it, which is Charade, another Criterion. A lot of these are going to be Criterion, as has been the case the last couple years. But yeah, I watched a video essay on this movie, and that it's the only movie to have been released under the public domain, and that was completely by accident because in the opening credits they messed up and forgot the little copyright symbol. And so yeah, this movie was released without copyright and immediately entered the public domain, which the studio is pretty pissed off about because it has Cary Grant and Audrey Hepburn, and was, had a budget and all this other stuff. And so they kind of shot themselves in the foot with that. But yeah, I'm excited to watch this movie. I heard a little bit about it, and I'm interested in, or I'm hoping to watch it soon. All right, another one, Deadpool and Wolverine. This is the Steelbook. I picked the Deadpool version because I frankly, or is this the... This might be the Wolverine version. I'm confused as to how they did this. I think it's like Deadpool on the front and then like Wolverine. Let's take that out. Wolverine stuff in the middle. I don't know if you guys can see that too well, but oh, I guess Deadpool is on one. Okay, anyway, not entirely important. So I signed up for the AMC Movie Pass last summer, and so I was able to see which. This is not a sponsored or in any way thing for AMC, but their membership program at like the top tier is pretty phenomenal. You get multiple free movies to watch a week, and then, that regenerates at the end of each week. So you can go and see like 2 or 3 movies in a weekend, and then it regenerates like the following day or for that Monday, and then you can keep seeing more. It's great. But short story long, I went and saw this last summer and really loved it. I went and saw it in theaters a couple different times, and I saw it once in 3D, and that was pretty cool. But yeah, really, really great movie. I enjoyed a lot of the cameos and how that movie was handled. All right, next one is this is a weird one. This is The Graduate. Yes, Dustin Hoffman and Bancroft. Yeah, this is a very strange movie if you've never watched it before. I had heard about it through some of Criterion's YouTube videos, and I gave it a watch, and it's a very strange one, for sure. It's about this recent college graduate. Is that what it is? Anyway, it's a recent graduate, and he returns home after he's done with school, and starts to have a romantic relationship with an older woman who is a family friend of theirs. But then later on, his parents set him up with her daughter, and so it's a bit of a strange kind of premise, but otherwise a very, very, very decent execution, decent movie. All right, speaking of decent execution, I should say better than decent execution, is The Holdovers. I picked this one up recently in the same sale as American Graffiti from Barnes & Noble, but wow, I was really, really impressed with this movie, and really kind of mad at myself having not seen it in theaters. I watched it at home a couple months after it came out. I went on a Academy Award nomination movie binge for last year's Academy Awards. But yeah, this was a really, really phenomenal movie. Paul Giamatti probably giving a career best performance, and then I forget the woman's name. Yeah, Dave Vine. Dave Vine's performance in this is phenomenal. Absolutely deserved the award last year. But yes, brilliant movie. It's has a art aesthetic, or a film aesthetic of the 1970s, 1980s kind of John Hughes feel good movies, but absolutely phenomenal. If you haven't seen this yet, I would highly recommend it. All right, and speaking of highly recommend, Hundreds of Beavers. I don't even know what to say about this movie. I wish I had known about it sooner. I wish I had I wish I had watched it sooner. This is a 1 in a billion movie. And you watch everything from the behind the scenes to the execution to the overall aesthetic of the movie is just, it's really truly one of a kind brilliant. I got I don't even know what label this is, but anyway, they give you this just fantastic booklet of kind of parodied iconic movie posters, and it's really cool how much detail went into the release, and even that goes for the movie too, 110%. This movie is something that I feel like everybody should experience and watch at least once. It's a really phenomenal movie, and even more so when you consider that there's no speaking. There's no dialogue. That there's sounds, and there's sound effects, and noises, but there's no actual speaking dialogue, which is even more remarkable. And then you look at the behind the scenes too, and they only had I think a couple beaver suits that they just kept reusing and compositing in multiple or hundreds, pun intended. But yeah, this is a truly phenomenal movie, and I highly suggest that you watch it. All right. This is a movie that I already own, and it was a movie that recently celebrated its 10th anniversary, which is Interstellar. This was a 4K release, which I already have the 4K. Oh, yeah, 4K right there. I already own this, but I picked this up again because of this release. This is truly something really, really special that Paramount did here. And I might, if I remember and I'm not lazy, I'll try to put some B-roll in here or some photos of what's really in here. Or I can just show you now, actually. There's these really cool patches that they give you that are themed after the movie. There's a note from Christopher Nolan on the front here. There's all the discs. There's also an entire storyboard booklet of the Miller's Planet scene here, and it goes into, detail of how they storyboarded that entire sequence out. And one of the coolest parts of this is they give you mini prints of. I would imagine it's every single poster that was made to promote the movie. So like there's that one, and I think there's about 6 more, I believe. Yeah, but this was a really, really phenomenal special edition release of this movie, and I actually was fortunate enough to go see it in true IMAX last December in Los Angeles, and that was a truly a life-changing experience. If you haven't seen a movie in full IMAX, or in I should say real IMAX with a capital R, highly suggested. It's you're not going to be disappointed if you're a lover of film like I am. It's a really, really awesome experience, and something that I feel like everybody should experience if they like film. But yeah, Interstellar, fantastic movie, and the release was really, really good too. This was a movie that I had suggested to me because I started watching Severance, and one of my coworkers was like, "Oh, have you seen I Saw the TV Glow?" And I remember that it came out last summer, and I didn't have a chance to see it in theaters because it had such a limited short release. But this was a movie that I watched and then was a bit confused about, admittedly, and then I had to look up what the meaning of it was, and it kind of all made sense after that. This is a really, really brilliant movie, and the release of it I got, which, funny story about the release, I ordered this from A24's website. This is an A24 film, and I think it was like a week or so later that Barnes and Noble started carrying A24 films in their stores. So that was pretty funny. I was wanting to order it from I was wanting to pick it up at Barnes and Noble, and then didn't. Ordered it, and then by the time I got it, they had this movie at my local Barnes and Noble, which was kind of funny. But yeah, this has some really cool kind of blown up Polaroids of various characters from the movie and various scenes. Like that one's kind of graphic, but yeah, just a very you can tell that the director, it's subject matter that the director really is really passionate and advocates a lot for the messaging that's in the movie. It's a very, very relevant movie to have been made today. But yeah, really, really, really interesting, very unique take on the subject matter. All right, next one is The Last Blockbuster, and fun story, I actually bought this from The Last Blockbuster. I kept the sticker on here and everything. I watched this documentary a couple years ago, so I don't remember it too well, but it was really, really cool getting to go to the last one in Bend. And yeah, I don't really know what else to say. It's a really, really cool experience. All right, next one we have is The Manchurian Candidate. This was John Frankenheimer. A lot of people consider this and a movie that I'll be talking about in a second in kind of a spiritual movie trilogy, because their subject matter and kind of their themes and motifs are similar. But this was a really, really cool kind of science fiction look at kind of memory modifying and that sort of thing. It was a movie that I feel I should watch again. But yeah, another Criterion release, but this was a pretty good movie. All right, another Criterion back to back. Marriage Story. Wow, this movie's truly something. Something sad. I remember my parents started watching this movie, and I don't think they were able to finish it because it's a very very emotional, very kind of a very, very melancholy look at interpersonal relationships and romantic relationships and kind of the intricacies of marriage. But it's a very, very well made movie. I really enjoyed it. All right, we have Jordan Peele's Nope. This was another Barnes & Noble sale item along with the other ones. This was a pretty decent movie. I don't know, man. Jordan Peele, I really, really loved Get Out, but I don't know, just some of his other movies have not been doing it for me like Get Out did. This movie is pretty good too. It definitely leans more into like the monster movie kind of trope a little bit, but it's still a really kind of a fun different take. I really love this scene where there's just like a bunch of blood raining down on the house and everything is kind of tinted red for a couple scenes. I thought that was really cool. But yeah, this is another decent movie. I'm excited for his upcoming movie. I'm blanking on the name, but it's kind of a football sports movie. All right. This is the second John Frankenheimer movie that I was mentioning earlier, which is Seconds. I had a chance to rewatch this with some friends. I had seen it already and they hadn't seen it before, but I got to watch it a second time. And this is I feel like this movie is very much ahead of its time. It follows a man who is basically kind of blackmailed into undergoing a procedure that changes his entire appearance, and they basically give him a new life somewhere else because he's middle-aged, kind of in his 50s or 60s, and it's kind of a dead end in many ways. He hates his job. His relationship with his wife isn't going too well, and so he follows through with it, and then they kind of age him down a little bit and they send him off, and that's kind of how where the story goes from there. But it's a really kind of interesting look at like kind of we only have one chance at living life, and life is short and limiting. And so this is a really kind of interesting look, kind of a science fiction look at that whole thing. But yeah, really, really cool movie. I'd recommend it to anybody who would want to watch it. All right, another Criterion. Next up, we have Shortcuts. This is a blind buy that I got the other day, and I haven't had a chance to watch it yet, but I saw Robert Altman on the cover and thought I'd pick it up and give it a watch, because Robert Altman is a phenomenal director. Shout out Popeye from the 1980s. All right, this is yet again another, I think we have, this will be Criterion number 3 in a row. We have Billy Wilder's Some Like It Hot. This is widely considered by many to be the best comedy movie ever made. I thought it was really good. I don't know if it's like the best comedy ever made. But I kind of wish that I had seen this movie first and not White Chicks, because they feel very they feel very similar. Like, well, I feel like now that I've seen this, I feel like White Chicks is definitely a modern kind of adaptation of Some Like It Hot. But yeah, very, very interesting movie. I appreciated that they never really punched down, or they could have had a chance to have been kind of transphobic, or kind of punch down to people who dress in drag and stuff like that, but they didn't, and I really appreciate that they didn't do that. But yeah, very Marilyn Monroe. Yeah, really, really, pretty good movie. All right. Oh my gosh, this is the next one. All right. This is a movie I already have. I upgraded to 4K. This is the SpongeBob SquarePants movie. This is the Steelbook, and yeah, just a very, very nostalgic, very, very top tier movie for me. Don't really know what else to say. I've already talked about this movie before. All right, the next one is another A24 release. This is a remaster. This is Jonathan Demme's Stop Making Sense. This is the Talking Heads kind of concert recording, kind of documentary sort of thing. Beautiful, beautiful release, but I can't help but say why A24 do you have to make it the size of a book? Because I can't put it on the shelf, man. Like, this is easily, I'll hold up another, like look at that size difference. A24, why did you do this to me? Why have you forsaken me? Anyway, jokes aside, this is one that I also admittedly have not watched yet, and I'm looking forward to watching it soon. Again, this is just a really, really phenomenal release. There's photo scans in here of pictures from their various concert tours. Oh, that's a cool one. I haven't actually looked through this too closely yet. Yeah, there's set design sketches and stuff of kind of storyboarding basically. But anyway, yeah, really, really beautiful release. My only gripe is that I can't fit it on the shelf. Thanks A24, but also thanks A24 for releasing this. I'm excited to watch it. Right. This is a movie that I watched recently. This is another Criterion. This is Risky Business. Really interesting movie. My Letterboxd review for this was basically Ferris Bueller if he was a horny pimp is probably the best way I can put this. Yeah, Tom Cruise in a very kind of interesting role if you know Tom Cruise, like the modern version of Tom Cruise, the way we see Tom Cruise today. Very, very different in this movie. But yeah, this was a fun watch. Yeah. All right. This is another movie that I apologize that I admittedly have embarrassingly not seen yet, which is Roma. Alfonso Cuarón, another phenomenal movie of his. And again, another really, really beautiful release from Criterion here. It's an entire kind of a booklet essay like they like to do. Yeah, I've heard great things about this one. Numerous awards when it came out. And yeah, this is a movie that I is definitely on my list of watching for sure. So yeah, Roma. A lot of these I buy in hopes that I will watch them, but sometimes I don't. And some releases I buy because they are in my top favorite movies of all time. Case in point, this one, John Hughes's Uncle Buck. This is a absolutely phenomenal movie. I already own this, but I got the 4K because Kino Lorber remastered this. Thank you to you guys for that. Yeah, really, really brilliant remaster of a timeless, iconic movie. If you haven't seen this, please educate yourself and go watch it, because this is probably one of the funniest movies of all time, and one of the most brilliant of John Hughes's movies. All right, this is another one that I own like 50 copies of, but they released another version of it, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. This is the 1971, the original with Gene Wilder, and yeah, this is just a really brilliant movie. I've released a Cole's Classics about it, and this was a kind of an import release. I haven't even opened it yet because I already own the 4K remastered version of it. But I picked this up because it has this really cool cover. I should open this up and see what the inside looks like. But anyway, yeah, great movie. So, all right, that is it for the movies that I have, and the TV shows is going to be incredibly short, or I should say only has one entry in here, but I might talk about it for a little bit because this show has had a profound impact on my life over the last year or so, which is Apple TV's Severance Season 1. I ended up writing my master's thesis on this season of this show, so I know the first season very, very well. This is an absolutely phenomenal... I would argue that this is in the running for one of the best seasons of television ever made. From start to finish, it is one of the most solid, well executed pieces of television ever made. Absolutely phenomenal acting by every single person in here. There's, you have Adam Scott in his, what is probably his career defining role as Mark Scout. And then you have Christopher Walken. You have, I'm blanking on names because of course I am. Yeah, you just have like a million people, and then you have Ben Stiller running it all along with Dan Erickson, the creator, and just an absolutely, one in a billion, lightning in a bottle, 1 in a billion, seasons of a show. I want to make a video essay kind of encapsulating and kind of synthesizing down my thesis, which I'm hoping to release very, very soon. But yeah, I cannot say enough good things about it. If you have not seen this already, please do yourself a favor and watch it. Even if you're not really a huge fan of science fiction or, this kind of genre of content, it really is kind of, I feel like it kind of has that reach where it can appeal to everybody in some way, shape, or form. For context, I was scrolling through YouTube. This was, I think, 2021, 2022, but I stumbled across the teaser trailer for this, and I saw the thumbnail, and I was like, oh, this must be like, because I saw it was Apple TV. I saw the thumbnail where it's Mark with his little Lumen Band-Aid, and he's standing next to the MDR console, and I was like, oh, this must be like a biopic of Apple, like the company, because I thought, oh, Adam Scott kind of looks like how Steve Jobs looked at that time, and oh, that kind of looks like an old like kind of the Apple Lisa or the Macintosh, and I was like, oh, maybe that's what that's about. And I watched the trailer and I was like, oh my god, that is not what this is at all, but I am completely 100% interested in watching this when it comes out. And I followed it and waited for it to come out. And when it came out, I was just absolutely mesmerized by it. I was like, this is one of the most like interesting premises that ever made. And like even the execution down to like the Zolly shot of the transition between Audi and Innie. I'm like, oh my god, because I feel like I kind of had that idea like many years ago, where I was like, oh, it'd be cool if somebody used the Zolly in a way to illustrate kind of a change or something happening. I was like, oh my god, they literally used that in the show. I'm so happy that somebody actually kind of had that same idea I did. And so I watched the rest of the season, loved it. And while season 1 was coming out, I was recommending it to people because I was like, oh, this is a brilliant show. People should watch this. And I recommended it to my parents, and then they started watching it and they loved it. I recommended it to my cousin, and in one day he watched the entire first season. And that goes for everybody else I've recommended it to also. Like, that doesn't just happen, that you recommend a show to a bunch of people and every single person is like, this is amazing. Like I feel like, at least for me, as somebody who recommends a lot of stuff to people, that never happens. Like every single person I recommended this to has fallen in love with it like I have. And so I feel kind of in many ways kind of a hipster, where it's like I was watching this show before it was cool, and now that season 2 has come out, everybody loves this show and everybody's fallen in love with it like I have for so long. I remember when the season 1 finale aired, I had goosebumps. I was like, oh my god, that's like one of the best, season finales ever made. I wish I could sever myself and go back and watch it again, because and get to experience that. Just every single beat of that final episode is just like nothing short of brilliant, nothing short of perfect. But yeah, I could gush about this movie or this show, I mean, for hours on end, and this video would be way too long. But yeah, if you have not watched this show, it's absolutely brilliant. And that, yeah, I guess that's kind of it. Yeah, well, what a way to end the recap for this year. Thank you so much for watching. That's all I have today. Tune in next year, where hopefully I have a little bit more to talk about. And if you have not seen the original couple Blu-ray collection updates, feel free to go watch those. I'll link them somewhere around here in the description, or they're on my channel. Yeah, and thanks so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Please go check out some of my other content if you feel inclined, and feel free to subscribe. I do this as a hobby, so no pressure there. But yeah, anyway, I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Bye.